to France. I went to Chateau Thierry, France.
Okay.
And they was building a repo depot there. At that time was a depot that they trained troops because the Air Force didn't need all the troops at that time. And we was building this, and they bringing the Air Force men in there and giving them training, infantry training,
Okay.
because they could use them on the front lines.
Okay.
And so I stayed there, and I think the war ended when I was there. I don't remember. I don't remember when did the war end in Germany. I don't remember.
Okay, so the war ends in Europe in May of 45.
In May.
Yeah. And so, do you remember anything about VE Day?
No.
You were just in Germany.
When?
You were in Germany at VE Day.
No, I was in France VE Day.
Or France, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But no big celebration? I would think the French would have been raised in hell.
Well, the French were, yeah. They was really happy.
But you guys...
But,
were you, who were you with in France?
I was on detached service because...
So, you were out of the 29th and they were just using you wherever they needed you.
Wherever they needed me, that's where they put me.
Yeah.
And
okay, so the war's over.
Yeah, and we left Chateau Thierry and went to Marburg, Germany. My outfit did that I was in.
Okay.
And I became a truck driver for Lieutenant Colonel Wilson.
Okay.
And the 29th Division was coming through there, going back to the States.
Okay.
So I told the colonel about it, and I said I'd like to go talk to him and go home with him.
Yeah.
So I went to the 29th Division and asked him if I could come home with them.
Yeah.
At that time, they shipped you home by points.
Yeah.
Well, I had over 90-some points.
Yeah, so you
qualified.
To go home
to qualify.
Mm.
Well, I went there, and they said, no, they had a full division. They couldn't bring me home with them. So I went back and told the colonel about it. And the colonel said, well, I can tell you how you can get home before they do. He said, re-enlist for 18 months, and you'll be home for Christmas.
Okay.
So I did. I re-enlisted in Marburg, Germany.
Okay.
And I went home for Christmas in 45 and got married.
Okay, well now, you flew home?
I came home on a Liberty ship out of Bremerhaven, Germany.
Bremerhaven.
Yeah.
To New York?
Boston. We went to New York, but it was so rough we couldn't land there.
Okay.
Get in, so they went to Boston.
Boston. Okay.
So I went home and got married.
Well, tell me about coming home. I mean, your folks knew you were coming.
Yeah, my folks knew I was coming home, and we were so 30 days getting across the Atlantic. It was so rough that they buttoned down the ship and wouldn't allow nobody up topside.
On the deck, yeah. 30 days.
We was on a Liberty ship. There's two of us left Bremerhaven, and one of them got a screw break, and he had to go put into the Canary Islands to have it repaired. So we came home by ourselves.
Okay.
And everybody got sick on that ship.
Oh, God, I can imagine. Yeah. Okay, so you get married on your time home.
Yes.
What did they give you, like 30 days when you got home?
90 days.
90 days?
90-day furlough.
Okay, well, that's
cool.
And
I came home, and I thought, well, they won't send me back to overseas, but I went back to Boston, and they put me on a ship and sent me back to Le Havre.
Le Havre? Oh, jeez. Okay.
They put me on a train at Le Havre and shipped us back to Marburg, Germany.
Okay, occupation troops.
Yeah, I was an occupational troop then. And I got there, and I seen the colonel, and he said, what are you doing back? I said, they sent me back here to drive you. And he said, I got a driver. But anyway, they was having trouble finding some place to put us.
Yeah.
So there's a field hospital at Antwerp, Belgium. It was It was off of the 112th General Hospital in Paris, France. It was
Okay.
part of that.
Okay. But this is Antwerp, Belgium.
So I went to Liège, and I was still a truck driver.
Okay.
So they would load. I would go to the ship, where the ships landed, the docks, and they would load my truck with medical supplies,
Okay.
and I'd haul them all over Germany to different hospitals,
Okay.
like Nuremberg,
Yeah.
Aschaffenbusch,
Okay.
Darmstadt, Würzburg, and
How long did you do this?
I've done it for about 16 months,
Wow.
and then they sent me home for good.
Okay, so by this time it's like 48,
Seven. I got off.
47,
I got out in 47,
46.
47, 46. I don't remember.
No, you must have gotten out in 47. But okay. So what happened to you after that? What'd you do in civilian life?
Oh, I went back to Camp Sheridan, Illinois, and was discharged.
Mm.
And I was a farmer's
Okay.
son when I was out in the Army. So I went back home and I farmed with my dad.
What kind of big a farm?
We had a small 200-acre farm, corn and wheat and beans.
Okay.
And I farmed there 2 years with him. And my brother, youngest brother,
Mm.
was in the Navy, and he came home, and he wanted to farm. So
Okay.
I told Dad this farm's not big enough to support 3 families.
Yeah.
So I went to town and got a job, and I ended up at Allison's as General Motors in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay. What'd you do for GM?
I worked as a skilled trade as a tool and cutter grinder.
Okay.
For GM.
Tool and cutter grinder.
Yes.
Okay.
And I
What
worked,
division?
pardon?
What division of GM?
Well, where I went to work there, they made jet engines.
Oh, okay.
Allison's in Indianapolis.
Okay. For
And-
what kind of jets? For commercial jets?
No,
like-
they was for,
Fighter
I guess
jets?
they was, I don't know, maybe for fighter
Okay.
jets.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
they quit making jet engines and start making transmissions, and they're making transmissions today.
Oh my God.
And I worked there for a little over 18 and a half years.
Okay.
And in 1990, I retired.
Okay. You come down here?
No, Judy, my wife, and I, after she retired a few years later, we became,
No.
Who was she
Maybe
working
you
for?
retired, you sold the house and moved into a fifth wheel.
pardon,
Who was she
Traveled all
working
around
for?
the country.
she was working for AT&T.
No, I was working for IUPUI at the time.
Who?
Indiana University for University.
Well, she was
of
working for
Indianapolis.
Bell Telephone when I met her.
Okay. Well, anyway, so you guys retired.
Retired, we sold everything. We bought a truck and a fifth wheel, and for 9 years we was RVing
Oh, okay, all around the country.
all around the United States.
Okay. And what kind? You had an RV.
A fifth wheel, yes.
Okay.
We worked
How many states you make?
all of them,
All of them.
all but Alaska. We didn't drive. We went there, but we didn't drive.
Okay.
We worked at Yellowstone National Park in the summertime, and then we'd go to Florida or Texas or Arizona in the wintertime.
Yeah. Okay.
And in 1999, we sold our RV and settled down in Northport, Florida.
Okay. How about children?
I have 4 children. I had 2 boys and 2 girls.
Give me their first names.
Steve, Wayne, Sally, and Sandy.
That's pretty easy.
And she had a boy and a girl, had Tim and Jill.
Okay.
So I
You
practiced.
got 6 of them then, huh?
So I got 3 boys and 3 girls.
That sounds pretty good to me. Well, you did a damn good job of telling your story. For a guy that's 90 plus years old, you got a good memory.
Well, I hope I do. I try to remember everything. There's
Well, you did pretty damn good.
some things happened maybe yesterday. I can't remember that.
Yeah, well, you remember this pretty good.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go off the air with that. We've got We got 28 minutes. Now my problem is I didn't bring a camera. My camera I pulled out to do something with it, and I forgot to put it back in the bag.